The woodland theme is trending this year for Christmas, so I am sharing some whimsical woodland Christmas decorations with all of you. Welcome to CreArtive by Nature, DIY and Decor. My name is Donna. I found these wood slices from Dollar Tree, and I'm taking a selection of some craft paints and I am going to fill them in just up until the line of the bark layer. Now, of course, feel free to use any colors that you love to use for your Christmas decor. I wanted to try something a little different, so I'm using this beautiful antique gold, and then I'll also be using forest green, a cream color, and I left one plain. Next, you're going to need some eye hooks. And I like to use a nail, and I kind of pierce through the bark, and that provides a hole for a guide so I can screw these in just using my hand. Now, of course, you could use a drill or whatever other tools that you have. Now, I found the smallest size eye hook that my hardware store had. So these laser cut pieces are new to Dollar Tree. They are from the Crafter Square brand, and I thought they would be beautiful to use on these wood slices. So I'm using some tacky glue, and I'm just adding little dabs of that here and there on the back side, just to provide some contact between the laser piece and the wood slice. Just gonna place them down on top, and then you'll want to set it aside and allow these to dry. Feel free to use any of the glue that you love to use. So here they are, all nice and dry, and now all I'm gonna do is add a twine to the eye hook, and then they are ready to hang. But first I wanted to share another option with you. Here I've got a larger wood slice, and I've already painted it. I decided to try some moss on here. So again, I'm using my tacky glue, and I'm just going to spread that around with a craft stick. And then you'll want to take this preserved reindeer moss and kind of spread it out a little thin and place that into the glue. I know Dollar Tree has this moss as well, but you can get this anywhere. Same with the wood slices. You can even get some wood slices that have a pre-drilled hole. That would be a great option as well. So once you have your moss in place, you're going to want to flip it upside down and apply a bit of weight to this and allow that glue to set. Then I'm just removing any of the excess pieces. And then I'm adding more glue to the opposite side, and same procedure. I'm going to spread the glue around, apply the moss, apply some weight to this, and allow it to dry. So I'm just going to trim this a little bit. I felt it was just a little bit too fluffy. I added a little bit too much moss. I'm just trimming it up a little bit. If you didn't apply enough moss, then feel free to add some more. All right, so now time for our little laser cut embellishment. I've got this beautiful maple leaf. I'm just going to apply that. And I did both sides for all of these wood slices. So again, apply some weight, allow it to dry, and then they're ready to be hung on the tree. I found these cute little wooden mushrooms in the Crafter Square fall decor and craft section. Of course, you can get these on Amazon as well, so I definitely would check that out. I'm going to give these a coat of some walnut gel stain as well as some cream paint. So I'm applying the gel stain to the top of the mushrooms, and you'll need a rag to wipe off any of the excess. Of course, feel free to paint these any color you would like. Now you could use this or leave the stem just as is if you'd like, but I wanted to paint mine out a cream color. So I'm just going to paint the underside as well as the stem, and then I'm going to allow it to dry well. Okay, so these are all nice and dry and looking pretty cute. So now I'm using my cream paint and the end of a paintbrush, and I'm going to add some dots just like an actual toadstool would have. Again, you're gonna let that dry and you're gonna do the same for both mushrooms. Aren't they looking so cute? Okay, this is optional. I'm using some archival ink in the potting soil color and using a stiff bristled brush, and I'm going to apply it to the bottom of our mushroom stems to make it look like it's dirt, like you actually went out to the forest and picked these. I thought that was a really pretty added touch. And then I'm going to dive into those eye hooks again, and same procedure as before. I'm using a nail to puncture through the top, just top layer, and that will give me a guide to screw these eye hooks into the top to provide myself an ornament hanger. Of course, use any tool in your stash to help guide that eye hook into your mushrooms. So these were the smallest eye hooks I could find. If I could find a smaller one, I would have used that for these mushrooms, but I thought I'd try to kind of camouflage this eye hook a little bit. So I decided to try adding just a little twine bow on this one. I thought it was okay. I don't think I would do that for all of them, but here's what that looks like in case you want to try that out. So then you just want to, again, add some jute twine. I just tied the two ends together to give myself a full loop to hang on the tree. I don't know about you, but I really have a thing for mushrooms this year. I think they are so fun and whimsical. Dollar Tree had these beautiful leaf LED lights that are battery operated, and I thought they were really, really cute. So you could definitely just use them as is if you like this orange kind of amber look. But I wanted to tone that down, so I am going to be taking these outside into my garage and spray painting them with these heirloom white Rust-Oleum satin paint. So I'm spray painting 4 strands, and I straighten them all out just to make it easier, and you can see how good that spray paint covered that leaf up. Now I'm going to just show you what they look like all lit up, and you can see how it toned down that bright orange. Here's the before and here is the after. I think these are gorgeous for a fun whimsical tree. So again, I hit up the Crafter Square fall section and I found some strands of wood beads. Now, of course, you can get your wood beads anywhere, but I thought this was a really affordable way to make a garland. So again, I'm using my colors selection for these, and you'll need a little bag, and I just pulled them off of the string and placed them in the bag. Now, I didn't end up getting some fibers in there, so I just pulled those out. And I also removed any of the wood beads that were defective. So again, I'm using my Forest Green by Decor, but feel free to use any colors that you'd like. You'll want to place them in the bag, and then you want to smush it out. Now, I should have squeezed more of the air out of the bag. It would have made it easier to spread the beads around. So definitely do that. You can see I just did that right there. And then it makes it way easier to smush them around in the paint. Now, I added just a little bit more. You're going to have to experiment, but I did want them to be a little bit blotchy. I didn't want these ones to be fully covered because I wanted kind of like a more of a rustic look. So I made sure I didn't add too much. So I do the same for the antique gold, and now for the walnut stain, again, I apply that in the bag, but this time you're going to need a rag, dump, and a protected surface. You've got to have that protected surface. You'll want to dump the beads out onto the rag, And then you're going to just kind of take your rag, move it around to remove any of the excess stain. So I'm going to be using an old ice cream lid, and I'll dump those out and set them aside to allow them to dry. Now I do the same for the other colors. These colors, some of the beads stuck together, so I went through them and broke them apart before they became like glue and stuck together forever. So I did that for all of them, and now I put all my wood beads into some containers. You can see how the green is kind of blotchy, and I also left some natural. Now I'm going to be using some jute twine, and I took a little bit of glue. This was recommended from a viewer. You add some to the tip, and that makes it easier to thread your beads. So again, I don't remember your name. I apologize, but thank you so much for that tip. Okay. Now I am figuring out my pattern for my wood beads. This is something that is totally optional. Get creative with your pattern. Thought this was too boring, so I decided to just kind of separate them and added an extra light bead. That way here I felt it broke up all the dark colors. So once you are happy with your pattern, you can start to string them on. Now I don't pre-measure my twine. I will just kind of start to string them, and once I figure I've got enough, I will actually take it and measure it on, say, my tree, my mantle, whatever I am using my wood bead garland on. And I'll show you that here in a moment. So you can see here, I have roughly draped the beads, and I am happy with how those are. So I'm just going to show you how long this strand is. It ends up being a total of just over 5 feet long. So I'm going to just tie a loop on the one end. That will help you to hang it on whatever you're going to use this on. Now I want a bit of slack in my garland, so I don't tie everything up tight. I make sure that there is a couple inches on each end of the garland, and then it's ready to be used. I'll be showing everything here in a bit all together on a tree. So next, I found these acorns again in the Crafter Square fall line, and I'm just going to be using my paint colors and painting the base. I'll be using the gel stain here as well on the bottom, and then I will be using my forest green on the top of our acorns. Once dry, again, I'm going to be using my little eyelet hooks my little eye hooks and poking a hole in the top and then just twisting those into place. So again, I've dove into my preserved reindeer moss again, and this time I am using hot glue to apply the moss to the top of our little acorns. Now you can skip this step for sure, but I don't know, I think it's just a really fun and whimsical look for this. So I am just going to cover the entire top, take some scissors and just trim it back just to bring back that acorn shape. So I have a total of 3 in each color, and then using some jute twine, I'm going to be tying the jute twine onto each acorn, but I want all my strings to be 3 different lengths to kind of create a tiered look. Once you're happy with the lengths of those, you're going to tie all the strings together, and then that will be what you use to hang on the branch. So I wanted to try these cotton seed pods. Again, I found them in the craft section at Dollar Tree, and I'm also using these jute twine bows. Now it's time to put this all together. So I've got this Dollar Tree mini tabletop tree. It's actually two of them put together. And I already had some just plain fairy lights on there, and now I'm adding our leaf lights, and I have to say I think these are so fun. So I only ended up using 3 strands of the lights. Next, I am adding the wood bead garland. Of course, this is how I like to do this, but you can put your decorations on your tree any way you'd like. This would also be really cute if you put this all in a garland, I thought, or even a wreath, I thought would be really pretty. Just loving this little tree though. I think it's looking so cute so far. I am absolutely loving these wood slice ornaments, and I actually think they would make great gifts, or even as like a little tag on a gift, or even like say if you're giving a bottle of wine or something like that. Oh, just I'm loving these so much. I think these acorns are really fun and whimsical as well, and I would actually love to know what you would do differently with these. So now I am just going to go in and add our little mushrooms. I ended up making a total of 6, I believe. I think they're just adorable for this little tabletop tree. All right, so now for the cotton pods. I'm just gonna tuck these in. I didn't do anything to them. I just thought it helped just to lighten it and add to that whimsical look. Of course, use any seed pods or anything that you can find, or you could just even skip that step. All right, so for something that I love to do, add a touch of nature to my crafts, I have got these beautiful red willow branches, and I just snipped them down into smaller sizes, and I'm going to tuck those into the tree. This is something I love to do, and it just brings that nature inside to your home. Now I am going to add my jute twine bows. I put a bigger one with long tails on the top, and then I'm going to add my smaller ones throughout. I have to say, I think this tree is pretty fun and very unique, and I don't know, I really had a lot of fun putting this one together. It just got me thinking outside of the box, and I hope it does the same for you. I would love to know what you think, or some of the things that you would add to your woodland themed tree. So here's what our tree looks like in the daylight, and then I will be showing you what it looks like when it's a little darker outside. So I really had fun putting this together for all of you. I would love to know what your favorite thing was by leaving me a comment down below. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here today, and here's some more inspiration for you to check out. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.